The midterm elections are right around the corner, so we thought to ourselves, what would it be a better time to fill one of our chairs with a chair? Florida Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, also the chair of the Democratic National Committee, therefore joins us here in Gotham City. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So we've spent a fair amount of our day watching your previous interviews and reading transcripts, and we found some things we want to follow up on.
Couldn't think of a better way to spend the day, huh?
It's been pretty fun.
That's what we call fun around here.
Excellent.
Right. So the President Obama, not on the ballot, correct?
That's right.
Bill Clinton, not on the ballot, correct?
Correct.
All right. President Obama, articulate spokesperson for progressive democratic values, correct?
Yes.
Bill Clinton, also articulate spokesman for...
Yes.
Yeah. Why is Bill Clinton campaigning in competitive Senate races and the President not?
The President is campaigning in competitive races.
No, in competitive Senate races. Why is it President Clinton is, President Obama isn't? Why?
The President is campaigning in competitive races during this election cycle, and we have one of the most well-positioned situations for a second-term midterm of any majority party in probably a generation. I mean, normally the President's party in a second-term midterm loses an average of 29 seats, and I mean, at worst, we're going to be in single digits, and I think we could even be in single digits and pick up a few seats
in the House.
And I think we hold the Senate.
But just out of curiosity, what competitive Senate races is the President campaigning in?
Like I said, the President has been campaigning in competitive races.
But what competitive Senate races is the President campaigning in? Is there one?
There are races that the President is campaigning in around the country, and he's also governing. He's doing his job, and he's also spent time recording robocalls and doing radio spots and making sure that our GOTV focus is as aggressive as possible. So we're deploying the President where he can be the most helpful, and he's both doing GOTV rallies and GOTV messaging, and it's been a welcome addition, and we very much appreciate it. I know our candidates appreciate it.
Okay, so yesterday, or 2 days ago, I can't remember which, you were on Morning Joe, a great experience always for everybody who goes on. You got a certain amount of attention for an exchange you had with Joe Scarborough. Joe asked you a couple times whether voters, if they went out and voted for Democratic candidates, whether they'd be voting for a continuation of the President's policies, right? And in both instances that he asked you the question, you didn't kind of really answer it really directly, and so it ended up on the homepage of Drudge and so on.
Luckily, now you get another chance.
Let me just phrase it in the clearest way possible. The President has explicitly said that is the case, right? So the President has come out publicly and said, my policies are on the ballot. So if the President said that, how can it be anything other than the case that is true, that is what's going on? Are you disagreeing with the President?
So here's the thing. I mean, as someone whose own name is going to be on the ballot in 12 days, right. I can tell you, as a candidate and our candidates across the country, everyone wants to run on their own merits and wants to talk about the issues that matter to the people that they're asking to support them. And this election is no different than any other election in that way, but there is a set of principles that all Democrats embrace, and that is that we want to focus on creating jobs, getting the economy turned around, right. Investing in education and health care, and that's what Democrats have in common. That is a common set of principles and an agenda that Democrats have been running on, and Republicans have doubled down on Tea Party extremism and shut the government down, sued the President. I mean, put things at the top of the agenda that are part of the Tea Party extremist agenda, and that's the contrast.
Totally stipulated, but when the President said that thing about how his policies are on the ballot, is he right or is he wrong?
Like I said, we have a set of principles and an agenda around which Democrats are organizing and that we support. And that's job creation, health care, investing in education and infrastructure, equal pay for equal work, increasing the minimum wage, all of which the Republicans have either opposed or done everything they could to throw obstacles in the path of progress. And again, as I said, I'm on the ballot in 12 days. Our candidates all across the country, every candidate that I know wants to stand on their own merits. And then in a political party like the Democratic Party, we're a big tent. And so in that big tent, we have a broad range of issue positions that, we're willing we give people the flexibility and still welcome them. But jobs and the economy, that's the most important issue, and Democrats are focused on making sure that we can fight for those jobs, and Republicans have been doing everything they can to take us backwards.
Biggest achievement of the Obama presidency in your time working with the President, is it fair to say that's the Affordable Care Act?
Well, I think one of the biggest achievements is that we've had 55 straight months of job growth in the private sector.
Bigger than passing universal health care.
I think they're completely different.
All right, so universal care, a big deal, right?
A huge deal, yes, obviously. Making sure that 8 million people have health care.
Is extending universal coverage to all Americans, is that working for your candidates as the chair of the party? Is that working to your candidates' net benefit in this election? And if so, what do you point to make that case?
I think what's happened is that the Republicans were sure that this was going to be another election that they could count on the Affordable Care Act being a loser for Democrats, and that they would be able to hang it around Democratic candidates next. And they actually had, I forgot who said it, but I know a prominent Republican a few weeks ago said there's not a single election that is going to turn on health care reform, because 8 million people have health care that didn't before, that young adults can stay on their parents' insurance until they're 26. Seniors, I've got seniors in my district who are saving an average of $940 on their prescription drugs. And the Republicans want to take that away.
So from a point of view,
and Democrats made sure it happened.
From the point of view of the midterms, the Affordable Care Act is a big net plus for Democratic candidates. That's your view?
I think the Affordable Care Act has provided benefits to millions of Americans that they don't want to give up, and that they appreciate that Democrats provided and fought for, and they recognize that the Republicans were willing to shut the government down a year ago and cost our economy $24 billion to deny people health care and take that away.
So big net plus?
I think that the benefits that the Affordable Care Act have provided American people appreciate and don't want to give up.
Okay, so I'm going to come back to the president again in a slightly different way. We've seen over the last couple of weeks, and this is another version of this kind of question of a lot of candidates being asked, did you vote for the president, and being put on the spot, right? That's happened now a lot ever since Alison Lonergan-Grimes wouldn't say whether she voted for the president, right? So I'm assuming you voted for the president in 2008, 2012, right?
Yeah.
Was that hard to answer that question?
It was not hard to answer that
question. Why is it that it befuddles me that Democrats who are asked this question over and over again have not come up with a decent answer? Yours is a really good answer. Yes, I voted for the president. That's very straightforward. A lot of you candidates in the party seem unable to say something that straightforward, or asked if they support the president or not, they, him, and haw all over the place. And this is not a question that anyone is confused is going to be coming. It's like a slow motion car crash, right? Why are candidates having such a hard time answering this question in a direct way?
The important questions that need to be answered in this election are about where you stand on creating jobs, where you stand on getting the economy turned around. Do you support equal pay for equal work? Will you support an increase in the minimum wage? Do you think we should shut the government down to take people's health care away?
Those are all important questions.
Those are the questions.
Well, but these candidates are being asked this very simple, straightforward question, and they're not answering it.
Those aren't incidentally.
I didn't say they weren't incidental. I said they're totally important.
Those are the questions that matter.
But they are being asked this other question and having a hard time answering it. Why is that? I don't understand that. You did it really well just now, really easy.
Well, there's probably a difference between my race and other candidates' races.
Yep.
And candidates in competitive races want to make sure voters understand the very clear contrast. Our candidates want to make sure that they're running on the issues and that they can talk about the issues that matter to their voters. And Republicans are doing everything they can, like Mitch McConnell, who wants to do everything he can to distract from the fact that he is terrible on the issues that matter to Kentucky voters. And so anything he can do to distract from his terrible record, he's going to try. And that's where they are.
Let me close with this general question. For voters in states with competitive Senate races whose outcomes will help determine who controls the majority, what will Washington be like? What will America be like if Republicans have control of both the House and the Senate with President Obama in power?
Well, Mitch McConnell has given us a preview of that. He's basically said point blank that he would make sure that he would use our budget process to shut the government down, to try to bring the president to his knees, to force the policies that Republicans want to make happen, which includes repealing the Affordable Care Act and cutting taxes for the wealthy and ending Medicare as we know it and turning it into a voucher system.
The president would veto all those things, though, wouldn't he?
Most definitely, he would veto those things. So if you want more obstruction, and if you want to double down on Tea Party extremism and on issues that are nowhere near the agenda of the American people, then people will support Republicans. But because they don't support those things, because they want us to just work together. Look, guys, I can say that even as the chair of the DNC. I know my way of the highway politics doesn't work, is inappropriate, is wrong. I know, as a Democrat, I have to try to reach across the aisle and work together with my Republican colleagues, actually find some shred of validity to what they're saying, and they should be doing the same with me, and that's what people want us to do. But there's almost no one on the other side, certainly no one that's willing to admit it because they know they incur the wrath of the Tea Party if they do, that's willing to reach across the aisle and do the same and help us move forward.
In your gut, you think you're going to hold the Senate?
I do. I'm confident we're going to hold the Senate. And I think, the very fact that you've got in South Dakota, in Kentucky, in Georgia, and in Kansas, the Republicans 12 days out are still having to spend money to try to hold those seats. And let's also focus on that. I think we will actually lose fewer Senate Democrats than Republicans lose governors. We'll have more Democratic governors the day after the election. Mark my word.
That's a difficult calculation, but I'm going to look that up.
Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, chair of the DNC, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
My pleasure.